Hey everybody, it's John Baker for Timeline Enterprises and a History Short. Well, I wanted to show you the 45 automatic, the first semi-automatic pistol of the U.S. Army. Here it is. This is the 45, Colt 45 ACP. It was adopted by the U.S. Army in 1910. Now, I wanted to show you this torn apart and put it together for you, but I ran into a few problems originally putting it together because a certain pin wouldn't go in right away. Anyways, the way you can tell that this is government is if you can read on it, it says U.S. property. Over on this side, it has the Colt logo and patent date and stuff. Okay. And the patent date, if you could read it, is actually 1913 for this particular pistol. So this pistol dates back to at least World War I. Now, with that, I also want to show you the ammunition. Now, the ammunition I'm firing today is 45 ACP. It's 45 automatic Colt pistol is what ACP stands for. 45 is the diameter of the bullet. This one, as you can see, is a hollow tip. Okay, that's one round we're going to be firing. And the other round we're going to be firing today is what you call ball. This is regular military ball ammunition. Right there, you can see ball ammunition ready to be fired. Okay. Now, the getup that I have on today, if I step back a little bit so you can see, the belt, the holster being brown and stuff is actually 1940s dated, 1950s dated military 45 holster, the regular pistol belt, and the ammo. Now, the 45 being the first semi-automatic pistol, or as a lot of people like to say, auto, it is not auto. All pistols are semi-automatic, meaning, or I should say most, they only fire one shot as fast as you pull the trigger. Okay, so that basically means one shot per pulling the trigger. Now, this being the first automatic meant that it was able to reload on its own. So I will show you. This is slide activated, so it goes all the way back, comes forward. Now, I advise if you've never handled a 45 or anything like that, don't handle it the way I just did. Remember, I have 20 plus years of military service, and this was my weapon when I first joined in 86. Not this particular pistol, but this pistol, the 45, when I first joined. Now, as I said, when it fires by pulling the trigger once. Okay. Now, this particular pistol has three safeties. The first safety is what's called a handle safety right there. You cannot pull the trigger unless you have enough pressure on that to be able to pull it. I'll give you a demonstration. Pull this all the way back, and you go to pull the trigger, you can't. Put the pressure on here, and it can. Okay, so that's one safety. The second is what's called the slide safety, meaning when I slide it back and let it go forward, it's the safety, the actual safety. Now I go to pull the trigger, you can't do it. Okay, of course it's been emptied, so there's nothing in it. Okay, now this has a third safety that not many people talk about. It's called a half cock safety, and what it is for those who have any way of doing unarmed combat. This is something to know on this. Once you hit this, you're not going to be able to pull the trigger. Why? Because you jammed the hammer into the half cock. Even if it's at a full cock and you jam it, only then you can actually pull the trigger, but it's not going to fire because it went to the half cock. So nothing's going to, the pin didn't get hit by the hammer, so it's not going to be able to discharge. I don't advise trying it unless you are extremely fast, you know what you're doing, and try to disarm somebody. That just is stupidity. Okay. Now with this, I'm going to turn it so you can see our targets. Those are the targets. Those are about 40 feet, I would estimate, from where I am right now. Okay, that's what we're going to be aiming at today. The coloring on those targets is actually to show you where center mass is. When you're training, you always shoot center mass because you're not trying to wound. A soldier does not try to wound, okay? Anybody in a situation where you have to pull a pistol, it's life and death. Therefore, center mass. It's life or death. Your life or your death, okay? Now, the first rounds we're going to fire should be the ball. There we go. Okay, and the way you load it is you take this, and this only holds 7 rounds. Aftermarket, you can buy some that have more than 7 rounds, but this is just plain 7 rounds. That's the standard issue, so that's what we'll deal with. You slide into the bottom. There's the mag well. Slide the magazine in. Make sure it's tapped in. Pull the slide. This is the way I recommend you do it. There's serrations right here on the back. Better grip. Pull back, let it go forward, and put the safe on. That's what I just did. As you can see, the safe is on. Now, why did I do it this way? So I can keep the barrel going down. Now, one other thing to address. Somebody made a comment when I talked about the M14 about my hearing aid, my hearing protection. I recommend you have them. I just happen to have lost mine, but again, 20 years in the military and my hearing is slightly off to begin with. But I advise, believe me, next time I do any shooting for y'all, I will definitely have some hearing protection, but firing a pistol is a lot less noise than firing a rifle. But still, hearing protection all the time regardless. So here we go. We're going to see what we can do. Let me get you aimed in on these targets and see what we can do. See if I can enlarge this any. Nope, it's not going to enlarge any. So let's see. Here we go. And for those of you who have worry about your hearing on your video, now might be the time to change it. Now, the stance I'll show you again when we move a little closer, but from here you generally have your feet shoulder width apart, one slightly ahead of the other so you're comfortable, you're not losing your balance. Then you lift it up, hold it with both hands, aim down the barrel, and fire. Okay, that was 7 rounds, and as you see, it slid back to catch it at the back and show you that it's cleared. So now what you do is you drop the magazine, it's empty, you see that it's cleared back, you can check it again, it's all empty. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move up a little bit. The next rounds are actually the hollow tips. Now, the difference in the ammo is quite simple. The ammo is designed for 2 different purposes. Hollow points are designed so when they hit the body, they break up and they expand on impact, whereas the ball ammo is designed to flatten out to make a slightly bigger hole in the person with it. Now, pistols are only made for about 40 yards and closer. So now we're going to see what it's like closer. From that distance, it doesn't look like I hit very much when it came to that target, but I'm wrong. I hit it in the chest twice. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll shoot at this other target, and we'll see how well we do on that one, but let me back up and show you the stance again that I was talking about. When doing it, your feet should be shoulder width apart, as you can't hardly see here. 1 foot slightly forward, okay, slightly forward. When you go to fire it, both hands on it, one hand to hold it, the other to cradle it, and then you aim down the barrel where you're pointing and you fire into the target. Now, again, what we're going to do is use the hollow tips. Okay, that's the hollow tip. Again, put it in. Make sure it's in. Slide back. It catches. Now you're going to slide on me. There we go. And it's ready to go. Now let's take a look at this target again. And we'll see. I'm going to go for the black one this time, and we'll see how we do there. Okay, here we go. Ready? And we're going to fire. There was all 7. And I just had a small jam, but the quick thing is, if this were the jam, you would pull it back and let it go forward again, and then you would fire. Okay. There we go. I'll put it to half, and I'll put it away. Oh, no. Let's pull that out. Pull that out. That's all cleared. So now I'll put it back on safe. We'll put it away. Put this one away. And let's take a look at how this one did. Now that was about 7 to 10 yards, I believe. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all within the center mass. That is not necessarily the best grouping that I've ever had, but even with the jams, sorry about that, it turned out okay. Now, as I said, this is the 45, accepted in 1910 by the U.S. Army. It was the first semi-automatic pistol that the U.S. Army adopted. So there have been a couple other that were accepted at the same time, roughly, but never made it into the arsenal. This one did. So this is John Baker for Timeline Enterprises, and this has been your History Short.